Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe right here to get the latest from the show and check out more of the best clips from Up and Adams, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FanDuel. All right, Green Day, All-American Rejects. I don't even know, Matchbox 20 out there. Happy birthday, Kirk Cousins. Was that his playlist?
Happy birthday, Kirk Cousins. We had a bunch of stuff out there. We got the guys, kind of have like a group deal. They play whatever.
Who really? Who's out there playing Third Eye Blind?
I don't know, and I could find out. I know the source to go get the information. But
I figured it was a happy birthday to your QB1.
I'm sure. You know, Kurt's got a big influence on the whole team, so he's definitely influenced those guys with his music likes.
Saw some one-on-ones out there. Usually the offense has the advantage. Defense was giving them hell today. That must put a smile on your face, Coach.
It's always fun when you get a chance to do those red zone one-on-ones, see really competitive nature come out of people. And that's what we saw today. And the defense went out there and played up and stood up today. You know, they got a big lift over the weekend, so everybody's ready to go. Our guys are ready to go, so we're fired up.
What's it like being the most well-liked coach in the NFL?
Oh, I don't know about that. You know, I want to be known as the winningest coach in the NFL, but I'll take it for now.
There we go. Well, you're smiling, you're happy, you're talking about a big lift. Does that lift rhyme with Judon?
That lift rhymes with Judon
and Emmons.
You know, and that lift came in and talking about great people, great guys, great character guys. They brought a lot to the football team. High character, physical people that's ready to go.
How does first practice go, Mr. Judon?
You know, Judon was well. We put him at a slower down rate.
I saw.
He made his presence felt, you know, for the things that he can do. We slowed Simmons down even a little bit more, and he's itching at the bit. I gave him a little stuff at the end of practice. I told him I was going to tell the media. He asked out, but he didn't. We're bringing him on the right way, and I think our trainers and our guys do such a great job in our performance team. We'll get those guys ready to go for practice, for games, for whatever's necessary.
I'm very excited about both the additions. I know when we all found out about it. When did you know that they were making the trade, or you were making the trade?
We were in the middle of it all throughout last week, you know, kind of with both of them in negotiations and talking with Elliott Wolf and the Patriot organization. They handled it so classy, how they would have handled that with Terry, allowing us to be able to speak to all parties involved and giving us that permission and going through the league office and doing the right things, and all those guys doing the right things. Again, to get Judon on the phone and listen to him talk, and you know how smart he is, how much high capacity he has when it comes to defense. That was really fun. And then having an opportunity to go to dinner last week with Simmons and taking him out and seeing how high character he is and how much his family means to him and how much football means to him. Wanting to be a part of an organization like ours with the ownership group that we have and the ownership that we have, I thought that was special. Having both of those men come in and be able to meet with those guys and then get them, they've done nothing, but they haven't disappointed.
The dynamic with you and Terry, how involved were you? Are these two guys that you were banging the table for? Or did he come to you and say, hey, I might be able to get these guys?
I'm not even sure if it's a banging the table thing right now. It's kind of this partnership that's unique.
Love that.
Where we're able to sit down and negotiate and talk amongst each other. And we add some other people involved. You know, we got Kyle Smith, we got Ryan Pace, we got a couple of our coaches, Jimmy Lake, Zach Robinson, Marquise Williams, obviously. That leadership group with Jerry Gray and all of those type of guys being able to talk about the scenarios and the situation that's possible to happen. And for us, we were fired up to be able to acquire that type of talent. They're always just churning the bottom of the roster, and every once in a while you get a guy like Terry, he comes out, he turns the top of the roster, and we'll see what happens.
What is happening? You can come sit over here.
I mean, we were talking really good about Terry. He just bum rushed the interview on Up and Adams. But
Terry, I just asked about the dynamic.
Where he is, you see how smart he is?
Hi, Terry.
So he felt, how you doing?
Lovely to see you. So good. I don't even know if we have another microphone for you.
That's how smart and aware he is, because he just noticed me coming, and then boom, it just pivoted. I don't know what y'all were talking about before or what he was complaining about regarding me, but then he just completely pivoted.
You know,
is this the happiest team in the NFL?
You got to let him know we were talking about
what?
How unbelievable he is.
Yeah.
Even before he got out here and interrupted your interview.
Absolutely. You can crash my interview anytime, Terry. It's great to see you. Congrats on the ads.
Thank
Smiles
you so
all
much.
around.
No, really
I was
excited.
asking when you guys knew you wanted to trade for him and Simmons and make these decisions.
Yeah, it was really the cool thing when you have coaches that are really smart. You're good at this.
Was this planned? Because Rod doesn't want to talk.
But you have
It's not the case.
Coaches that are really smart. You have a personnel department that 24/7 is constantly working, and so we discussed all these things during the summer, during the off season rather. We talked about Justin during the off season and adding a player to that caliber. We talked to his agent. Ironically, his agent actually lives here, and both the agents. Same with Judon. His agent lives here as well. But we talked about all those factors. As soon as we saw he could be available, we reached out to the Patriots. So we handled all those things in terms of looking at what could make our team better, and it wasn't a react. We were anticipating.
Where was the dinner? Where'd y'all go to? Where were these dinners?
I don't know if you can say where, because I
can't.
Why?
Because I don't know if we have like a
sponsorship or
You
something.
don't have a
it
sponsorship.
might not be smart.
You don't have a sponsorship.
Right? It's probably not smart to say where it was.
Why?
It's already
Yeah.
out there.
Where'd y'all
Okay,
go to
so
dinner?
it was at Chops.
Okay, Chops.
Yeah.
Good spot.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Blank, Terry said that.
I asked our head of PR, and he gave me the okay
Is
to
that
say
right?
it. He's right there.
How would you two describe the dynamic?
And how about this?
Tell
This is
me.
pretty cool about it. They put us at the same table that we ate at for his after his press conference.
Oh, wow.
The first time we had met in person, they put us at that table and we had dinner there, and then so they put us at the same table.
It's a
so
magic
we knew that was
table.
like that's an omen to what was about to happen.
We went same seats and everything.
Yeah.
That stuff
Pretty
matters. Terry, what's this dynamic between you two? How would you describe it?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. Really special, to have someone that not just is always hungry and the energy to continue to improve the team and but looking at the big picture. We're meeting this morning, and to go through the roster and really talk big picture and really be thinking past just this moment is really cool. So he's always doing everything he can do to have a great practice, to get prepared to go win the first game and to win the season, but also we're still looking big picture. So it's been awesome.
How about you, Coach?
Okay, I can tell you, it's nothing like being around obsessed people. Obsessed great people. He's obsessed with acquiring talent. He's obsessed with being great. He loves his job. He lives it. He breathes it. Everything about it. And like, I when I come to work, I got to match his energy. And I know people don't believe that, but I got to match his energy every day. And he looks amazing, by the way. I give him a compliment
This one's out there in one-on-ones in drills, taking on Bijan. I saw you out there today. He has to match your energy. I'm sorry. Explain that.
I do.
Well, and what he's always done a good job of is you always want to surround yourself with really good people, with really smart people in every area. So you look at the coaching staff that he's put together. You look at the personnel department that we have and the people. So we have a lot of really good people in the building, and we're always trying to continue to improve in those areas. So it's special.
It's easy to add people that's smarter than me. So I want to go out there and get those guys, find a bunch of people that's smarter than me, a bunch of people that I can get ideas from, be able to bounce things off of. And I got a lot of really good coaches, and I met a lot of really good scouts here. Knew some of them from the past and some of them from my past, from his past, but bonding those guys together has been great.
You have the most fascinating past. I don't know if there's a person in the NFL that has more connections than you do. You're facing a bunch of you're crossing over this season, of course, but you're also a very rare coach who, in your career, you decided all of a sudden I'm just going to coach wide receivers for 4 years. What is that?
I'm gonna get out of here, but I'm gonna tell you what they called him growing up.
Tell
They
me.
called him the chosen one, and that's true. From when he was a
Is that right?
He was the chosen one.
The chosen
early
one.
on in his career.
When-
Those Italians
when
that raised
early?
him, they named him. He's the chosen one.
Like
He has to get his own.
college
He has to get his own interview to go about that. But
Bye, Terry. Nice to see you. I'm here with
There-
the chosen one.
no, but it's been fun to be where I'm at, right? And I know Terry said the chosen one, but like I've always viewed myself. A couple years ago, the song "Middle Child" came out by J. Cole.
Okay.
And I always view myself that way because I was a part of when I was the baby with Mike Tomlin, Rob Marinelli, Monty Kiffin, John Gruden, Jay Gruden.
Unreal.
And all of those guys. And then I got a chance to be around Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, Mike McDaniels. And I was older than those guys and had just become one of the youngest head coaches in the National Football League before I had 3 years and then failed there doing that. But I had a chance to spread that knowledge to those guys while taking the knowledge from the other guys. And I just always felt really blessed and lucky and fortunate in this profession that it's been really good to me, and I owe the game of football more than it's given me,
You have a beautiful career.
Oh.
It is amazing. 13 years ago, head coach. Now you're back. When you think about your coaching style, you get the job, you have the press conference, you go to Chops, you're in the same seats. Tell me about, from that day to now, how thoughtful you've been, how mindful you've been about what your coaching style is going to be now.
It didn't start at Chops. It started, in the preparation for those interviews. Because you're always locked in the season and what you want to do and how you want to do it. And last year we were locked in with the Rams, trying to go back and win another Super Bowl. And I thought that was really impressive what we were able to do with the Rams. I was able to steal different ideas from those guys. And Sean, to tell you, I've stolen everything from him out that way. But it's true. It wasn't just Sean. It was Les Snead. It was our ownership group out there and the Cronkies and everybody else involved. So coming back here and that preparation and those interviews and getting ready to go talk to people, you want to share your experiences. And when you share those experiences, the things that come out that you want to do are pretty clear when you get here, talking about the people you want to bring in, how you want to acquire the talent, how you want to have a big staff so you're ready to deal with the stuff that's going to happen when you are winning, how you want to go out and acquire a quarterback and what that quarterback looks like in order to win, how you want to bring back to this culture that you know was already here with Arthur Blank and what he's already started with the people first mentality. So there was just been so many things that I've been able to lean on over the last couple of years that's helped me get to this point that, we're ready to go.
Oh my gosh, you are so I couldn't tell, you guys bring in Kirk, so I'm like, okay, they're all in. Then you draft Penix, and I'm like, okay, they're planning for the future. And then these 2 ads with Simmons and Judon, I'm like, okay, no, they're all in. Are you all in, or are you planning for the future, or is it possible to do both? Because it seems sort of impossible.
Okay, you almost have to do both. Lessons learned, right, from my past. Just the Falcons, you just use our immediate example. When Matt Ryan left, the cover was bare. And not to say that it was bare, but it wasn't ready to move on to where you want to go and what's next. And we don't want to do that again. We have Kurt. For however long Kurt gives us great football. And we're preparing Michael to take over for whenever that time comes. And I couldn't think of 2 better humans to do it with. And you can't do it with everybody, but when you got the kind of quality character people that we have doing it, you can. And it's not going to be easy. It has to come with open and clear communication and more and honest. So I think we got the right people in place to do those things, and that's what's happening right now. And I think people are starting to see it. And if they don't, it's okay. It's okay to disagree. Just don't be disagreeable.
There's not a right way to do it, right? I mean, the Rams went all in, and then all of a sudden they're still successful, and then people thought that it was going to take years and years for them to rebuild. You made that draft pick with Terry and Mr. Blank with that in mind, keeping everything, clearly communicated. The fan base is a little, when it came to the Penix thing. You said, I've seen enough.
I don't know if it's necessarily the fan base or it was necessarily the media base.
Yeah, okay.
But whoever base it was.
What would you like to say to people who, people want to see this kid develop, give him the reps. Patrick Mahomes got the reps. Jordan Love got the reps.
Rightfully so. But, you can prepare yourself while mitigating injury. And we've learned so much more in the new game of football and new age of football that we've changed every single year. We've changed the way the game's been played. We changed the way the hits are developed. We changed the way everything's going. So we got a different approach, and our approach works for us. We got them 25 snaps last week of a bunch of different things that we can simulate. Now we're getting the reps out here against one-on-ones and ones versus twos versus ones. I love the competition, and this kid's going to develop, and he's done a great job of doing it already, and I'm fired up to see him to keep maturing and keep going.
Do you value reps in the preseason at the quarterback position differently than most coaches?
No, it's just most of the guys that got those young quarterbacks out there, they probably playing their first team O-line. They probably playing their first team people with them. And they're playing with people that they would be out there on a normal basis. What we can do in practice is we can simulate that against our own guys while mitigating injury, while limiting the fact and putting them in harm's way in order to do some things. It's just not worth it. One thing I do learn about coaching, you don't get mulligans if you do get a player hurt that you're counting on. And I want to prepare myself and put myself in the best situation not to have that.
So the message is not, I don't believe in Penix. I don't want a quarterback controversy. I believe so much in Kirk. It's just about, it sounds like it's just about injuries.
Yeah, nothing will be done on selfish thoughts of my own or trying to protect myself from a decision that we made together.
Protect the quarterbacks too.
It's more about protecting our assets, mitigating injury with our guys, being able to do it the right way. We had those 2 joint practices versus Miami, which were awesome. We got a chance to get great reps against people. We got a big-time scrimmage coming up with our guys. We were able to play them in that first preseason game. Kurt's played a bunch of ball. I got 2 guys that I feel really good about playing that goes in the game and can execute for us.
Taylor Heineke's getting that work, earning that paycheck. I love it. Are you not going to play Kirk at all?
No.
Wow.
Kurt won't play in the preseason.
I love this. I love that you're so decided and adamant about it. What you want.
It's easy when you got clear communication with the people within your organization and your franchise, and it makes it easy.
Coach, Mr. Lake is here. DC, we love it. Is there a world where you're not calling plays on defense this year?
It's funny when you said Mr. Lake had to look around because Terry popped up on us. But I got so much confidence in Lake and Zach Robinson that it allows me to be really a head coach and be able to monitor and be able to chime in on both sides. You mentioned earlier having that experience on offense, and in this offense particularly, having experience on the defense, and in this defense particularly, it allows me to chime in with my guys.
You're very rare, yeah.
And be really hands-on with both sides of the ball, while again being able to pay attention also to our special teams and really be able to dictate the terms of how we want to play. And I got 2 great guys with no ego on all sides of the ball, including our assistant head coach and Jerry Gray, that allows me to be the best version of myself, and they allow me to really capture the whole team, capture the whole organization, capture the whole fan base, capture everything that we need to capture in order to win football games. And I'm feeling really confident about how we're going to move forward.
Are you going to call plays on defense? Your
No,
best self. I went and looked back in Tampa. You had a DC the first year.
Yes.
The second year, you didn't even have a DC. There was no DC listed, and you had a 10-win team. And then you had a DC again the third year.
I had a defense, and I made changes mid-season, really first quarter of my first season, on both offense and defense side of the ball. Had Greg Olsen calling offense. He did a phenomenal job. I took over on defense, halfway through or whenever it happened that first year. Took over this next year and called it. Was able to acquire Jimmy Lake and get some help from him in the back end. So we've been doing this together for a long time. So when you plan it together and you do things together, it doesn't matter who tells the person in the mic who's doing what.
For sure.
All these things will be planned together. All these things will be well thought out together. And the things that Jimmy Lake does, we got such a common belief in that we'll be fine. The same with Zach. There's no different. Like, my communication with the offense side of the ball has been increased since my time with Kyle Shanahan. It's gotten better going with Sean McVay. Being with Zach Robinson over the last 3 years out there in L.A. has been an unbelievable experience for us to go ahead and argue across the ball. And now being together, we're doing the same thing on the practice field, and it's been fun working with each other and everybody here.
What's your favorite thing about Judon?
Right now is his liveliness that he brings to practice.
I saw him on the sidelines at Baltimore Wild.
He has a little bit of chirp to him that I like, and he has a little bit of swagger, authentic swagger that he brings to the game. And I'm looking forward to get to meet him even more.
You have a couple of your mentors. Like I said, you're so connected. It's so fun to go. You're a very fun coach to go through the list of who you're facing. I want to go through this. Well, week one, right out the gates, you got Tomlin.
We got to go deal with Batman, and I'm ready to deal, man. That game would be the game of the nameless great faces. He'll say the same thing about me, but when those games happen, and everybody's nameless great faces, but I can't wait to see Batman.
Which one? You can't wait to see him. You want that. What about week 17 up against Dan Quinn?
Man.
Which one are you looking forward to less?
The great communicator, the best listener in the world that I've ever been around. A guy that I got a lot of respect for, that we worked together here. He was part of the reason I was able to work on both sides of the ball and really grow and develop in this profession. But again, man, on those game days, they'll all be nameless great faces.
Did Dan Quinn help get you into the NFL? I was looking back. The jump from Hofstra to Tampa.
It was really ironic. It wasn't necessarily Dan Quinn. It just happened to follow the same path.
Wow.
Dan Quinn was the coordinator at Hofstra. When I came back to Hofstra as the secondary coach, he was able to leave and go to San Fran while I was working as an intern with the Jets. Herm Edwards was the guy that recommended me to go down and interview when Tony Dungy got fired in Tampa with Monty Kiffin, Mike Tomlin, Joe Barry, Ryan Marinelli. So I got a chance to sit in front of those guys with a defense I just learned from the Jets. Kind of a unique situation. I get the job the year after Dan Quinn, and we've been in the National Football League since. And we've just kind of followed each other's path and been, brothers, so to speak, for a very long time.
He's your competition for most well-liked coach, I think. I talked to Bijan at Super Bowl. He becomes an Atlanta Falcon. You become an Atlanta Falcon. You called him, 15 minutes after he told me?
I called him almost immediately.
Yeah.
Is one of the guys that you want to talk to, meet with, be around.
That really juiced him up.
You've heard so many great things about Bijan. Again, talking about the faces, he played for Steve Sarkisian, who worked here with me, who I was able to work on the side of the ball with Sarkisian when he was, and then Sark gets to Texas and he's coaching Bijan, and I can remember him just talking about him with the guy and the character and the person and the human, and he didn't really mention the player. Then you go watch him and you're like, wow. So I was really juiced to call him. Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Went out and ate with him.
You've got a lot of nice toys out here.
A lot of nice toys. Terry's done a great job.
Bijan, he keeps, he's going to get the Christian McCaffrey treatment, it sounds like. Usage-wise?
You never want to put anybody on Christian. I don't want to disrespect Christian, but he's a great example of who you want to model your game after if you're Bijan because of the skill set. Christian's been doing it for such a long time at a high level, and I'm so happy to finally be out of his division because he feel like he's been following me. He was in Carolina, then he followed me out to the West. I hate him.
Yeah.
And now I got a chance to get it back that I can model after him because of his greatness, and I think Bijan is up for that challenge.
You, our friend, like your mentor is Mike Shanahan, right? You talk to him a lot? Do you still talk to him a lot?
Mike Shanahan, I wouldn't say I talked to him a lot because his son was the enemy for the last 3 years.
This is what I'm thinking of. Like, I can't imagine Mike calling you and being like, let me tell you, Raheem,
I couldn't disrespect old Kyle that way, but we definitely went to scrimmage in Denver. We went out to dinner with Mike, and he's always going to be a mentor to all of us. The amount of respect and attention to detail that he brought to work when he was in Washington with that young staff. That's legendary known right now with Sean, with Mike, with Matt, with Kyle, with Hazlitt, with all those guys, Aubrey Pleasant, a huge staff of young talent that he mentored and developed and was able to do such a great job with. Anytime you get a chance to be around him and listen, we want to be there.
But you can't text him now because of Kyle. Yeah.
Now it was the last 3 years. I can text him now. Kyle's further away. I got a chance to text him now.
I don't know. I think this team's coming to take Kyle out. Last one for you. Very hard question. The hardest one of the interview. What do you get a Kirk Cousins, 36-year-old, for his birthday?
Oh, man. I gave him I'm going to give him a nice happy birthday in the team room. And you don't want to start giving out gifts because then you get favors. And then the NFL steps in and it's tampering. There's all these type of things. So, like, we're going to give him a nice happy birthday. We'll get him a song done. We'll get him a song done. He'll probably have some cupcakes around the building, but he's in a great place. And
yeah, I think you and Terry have done enough. I think you've given him enough. I think you might have given him enough toys for his birthday.
Hey, as Arthur Blank would definitely tell you, we're the conduit to his money.
You're a conduit to his money.
And Arthur Blank gave him the money.
Yeah, he's got a couple of Brinks truck in his driveway. Nobody does it like Kirk. We appreciate you. Thank you. Good luck. Go get him.
Thanks, Kay.
Thanks.